Why billionaires refuse to buy these 7 luxury products, the truth they hide. When Warren Buffett was asked why he still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500, his answer shocked the interviewer. "I'm happy there. I'd move if I thought I'd be happier someplace else." But here's what he didn't say, and what the luxury industry desperately doesn't want you to know. In 2019, a leaked memo from a luxury brand executive revealed something disturbing. Our target customer isn't the wealthy, it's the aspirational middle class, who will sacrifice everything to appear wealthy. Today, we're exposing 7 categories of products that actual billionaires refuse to buy, while millions of regular people go into debt trying to afford them. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why the luxury industry's biggest con isn't about quality. It's about something far more sinister. Let me paint you a picture. It's 2007, and I'm sitting in a conference room in Paris. A luxury brand consultant is presenting to a room full of executives, and she says something I'll never forget. "Wealthy people don't buy logos. Poor people trying to look wealthy do." The room went silent. Then, applause. Here's the thing nobody tells you. The luxury industry operates on a psychological principle called aspirational marketing. A 2018 study found that 75% of luxury purchases are made by people earning less than $100,000 annually. Meanwhile, actual billionaires? They're wearing $15 Hanes t-shirts. Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett. What do they all have in common? They've all been photographed wearing the same clothes, repeatedly. Jobs wore the same black turtleneck, Zuckerberg the same grey t-shirt. Buffett drives a 2014 Cadillac XTS. But why? Because they understand something the luxury industry hopes you never figure out. Designer logo clothing. Let's start with the most obvious one. Designer clothing covered in logos. In 2022, a former Gucci designer went on record with a confession that sent shockwaves through the industry. He revealed that a t-shirt that retails for $650 costs approximately $18 to manufacture. That's a 3,500% markup. But here's where it gets interesting. The same factory in Italy that produces Gucci t-shirts also produces t-shirts for brands selling at 1/10 of the price. Same materials, same workers, same quality control. The only difference? The logo. Now picture this. It's 2016 and Bill Gates is attending a charity event. A reporter notices he's wearing a $10 Casio watch and asks him about it. His response? It tells the time just fine. But the luxury industry doesn't want you thinking like Bill Gates. They want you thinking like the person who sees Bill Gates and thinks he could afford better. Could he? Or does he understand something we don't? A 2020 study from the Journal of Consumer Psychology found something fascinating. The more prominent the logo on clothing, the less likely it was to be worn by actual wealthy individuals. They called it the inverse relationship between wealth and logo size. Real billionaires practice what's called stealth wealth. No logos, no flash, just quality. Because here's what they know, wearing a logo doesn't make you look rich, it makes you look like you're trying to look rich. And there's a massive difference. Product 2, luxury cars. Now let's talk about the second product, luxury vehicles. Here's a question. Why does Warren Buffett, worth over $100 billion, drive a car that costs less than what some people spend on a handbag? The answer lies in a concept called opportunity cost. Imagine this scenario. You're standing in a Mercedes dealership in 2023. You're about to sign papers on a brand new S-Class for $120,000. The salesman tells you it's an investment in yourself. But what he doesn't tell you is this. The moment you drive that car off the lot, it loses $24,000 in value. That's 20% gone in 60 seconds. After 5 years, that $120,000 car is worth maybe $40,000. You didn't invest $120,000, you set $80,000 on fire. Now, here's what a billionaire does with that same $120,000. They buy a reliable $30,000 car and invest the remaining $90,000. At an average market return of 10% annually, that $90,000 becomes $145,000 in 5 years. Let me break down the math. Luxury car buyer after 5 years, down $80,000. Billionaire after 5 years, up $55,000. That's a $135,000 difference in wealth from one decision. But here's where it gets really dark. In 2021, a leaked internal document from a luxury car manufacturer revealed their actual target demographic. Males, 25 to 45, household income $75,000 to $150,000. High social media usage, seeking status validation. Not billionaires. Not even millionaires. People who can barely afford the car, but desperately need to look like they can. And if you think that's disturbing, wait until you hear what I discovered about champagne. Product 3. Premium champagne and wine. Product number 3. Premium champagne and so-called luxury wine. In 2017, a wine expert named Robert Hodgson conducted an experiment the luxury wine industry tried desperately to suppress. He had judges taste the same wine multiple times without knowing it was the same. The result? They gave wildly different scores to the exact same wine. But here's the kicker. When he served $10 wine in expensive bottles and $300 wine in cheap bottles, judges rated the cheap wine higher when they thought it was premium. The wine didn't change, the perception did. Now, picture this. It's 2019 and I'm at an exclusive event in Monaco. A bottle of Dom Perignon is being served, $500 a bottle. Everyone's taking photos, posting on Instagram, bragging about how incredible it tastes. Then, someone points out something strange. The actual billionaires at the event? They're not drinking it. They're drinking water. Why? Because they know something the luxury industry hopes you never figure out. In blind taste tests, even expert sommeliers can't consistently distinguish between mid-range and ultra-premium champagnes. A 2018 study in the Journal of Wine Economics found that wine price has almost no correlation with wine quality beyond the $40 mark. Everything above that? You're paying for the label, the story, the status, not the taste. Product 4. Luxury watches. I'll be honest, this one's personal because I used to believe in this myth myself. Here's the pitch you've heard 1,000 times. A Rolex is an investment. It holds its value. But let me tell you what happened to my friend Marcus in 2022. He bought a Rolex Submariner for $15,000, convinced it would appreciate. 2 years later, he needed cash and tried to sell it. The best offer he got? $9,000. But wait, you're thinking, I've seen Rolex watches selling for millions. Yes. Vintage Rolexes from the 1950s, 1960s, not the one you're buying today. A truth the watch industry hides. For every vintage Rolex that sells for $1 million, there are 10,000 Rolexes sitting in drawers, worth less than people paid for them. Now, remember Bill Gates and his $10 Casio? In a 2019 interview, he said, "I like watches that do interesting things. This one has a calculator." He was wearing a Casio CA53W. Cost $10.99. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos has been photographed wearing a $50 Timex Ironman. But here's the real mind blow. A former Patek Philippe executive revealed in 2020 that their watches cost around $3,000 to manufacture, yet retail for $50,000 to $500,000. You're not buying a timepiece. You're buying a story about yourself. A story you hope other people will believe. Product 5. Luxury hotels and first class. Product 5. Luxury hotels and first class travel. Picture this. It's 2018 and a passenger boards a commercial flight from Seattle to New York. He's sitting in economy, middle seat, between two strangers. That passenger was Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world at the time. Why? Because he understands what the travel industry doesn't want you to know. You arrive at the same time. In a 2021 survey of billionaires, 67% reported they regularly fly economy on trips under 4 hours. Why pay $10,000 for first class when $300 gets you to the exact same place at the exact same minute? Now here's where it gets even better. Warren Buffett, a man who could buy any hotel on earth, is famous for choosing Holiday Inn Express. His explanation? They're clean, comfortable, and I can get work done. Not the Ritz, not the Four Seasons, Holiday Inn Express. Here's the psychology the luxury hotel industry exploits. They make you believe that paying $2,000 a night makes your trip more meaningful than paying $200. A 2019 Cornell University study found that happiness and satisfaction on a trip had zero correlation with hotel spending, beyond basic comfort and cleanliness. You're not paying for a better experience. You're paying to tell people you had a better experience. And if you think that's the biggest scam in the luxury world, wait until you hear about handbags. Product 6. Designer handbags. This is where the luxury industry's con reaches its peak. When a whistleblower from Hermès came forward in 2018, the fashion world erupted. The iconic Birkin bag, retailing from $12,000 to $300,000, costs approximately $800 to manufacture. But here's where it gets insane. Hermès deliberately restricts supply, creating artificial scarcity. They produce fewer bags than demand requires, forcing customers to wait years just to be allowed to buy one. This isn't exclusivity, it's manipulation. Now imagine this. You're at a social event. A woman walks in holding an $8,000 Chanel bag. People notice, compliment her, validate her. But here's what nobody tells her. The wife of the billionaire hosting that same event is carrying a $40 bag from Target because she doesn't need a bag to prove she's wealthy. She is wealthy. A 2020 study from the Journal of Consumer Research revealed something shocking. Women who carry designer handbags are actually perceived as less intelligent and more insecure, the exact opposite of what they hoped to signal. And here's the darkest part. A leaked 2019 marketing document exposed the handbag industry's true target. Female, 25 to 40, income $40,000 to $80,000, high credit card debt, active on Instagram. They're not selling to the wealthy, they're selling to people trying desperately to appear wealthy, even if it leads them into financial ruin. And finally, product 7, status jewelry. Let me tell you about the biggest scam in modern history. Diamonds. In 1938, the diamond company De Beers faced a crisis. Nobody wanted diamonds. They were considered worthless stones with no practical value. So they hired an advertising agency and created one of the most successful marketing campaigns in human history. A diamond is forever. Within 10 years, diamond engagement rings went from rare to mandatory. But here's what they didn't tell you. Diamonds have no intrinsic value. They're not rare. They're not even that beautiful compared to other stones. The entire diamond industry is built on artificial scarcity and manufactured demand. In 2022, a former De Beers executive admitted, "We created a market where none existed. We convinced people they needed something they didn't need." Now, guess what actual billionaires buy? Warren Buffett's wedding ring? A simple gold band. Cost? $25. Mark Zuckerberg? Simple gold band, under $100. Jeff Bezos? Often photographed without any jewelry at all. Because they understand something fundamental. Real wealth doesn't need announcement. So what do billionaires actually spend money on? 3 things. First, time. They buy back their time through delegation, automation, and efficiency. Second, experiences. Not luxury experiences, meaningful experiences. Warren Buffett spends money on education. Bill Gates spends money on books and learning. Third, assets. Things that generate wealth, not consume it. Real estate, businesses, investments. Here's the formula they follow. If it depreciates, minimize it. If it appreciates, maximize it. A car depreciates, so they buy modest cars. Real estate appreciates, so they buy properties. A designer bag depreciates, so they avoid it. A business appreciates, so they invest in it. It's not complicated, it's just counter to everything the luxury industry has taught us.
Remember that leaked memo from the beginning? Our target customer isn't the wealthy, it's the aspirational middle class who will sacrifice everything to appear wealthy. Now you understand why Warren Buffett still lives in his 1958 house. Not because he's cheap, but because he refuses to participate in the con. Every dollar he doesn't spend on impressing strangers is a dollar that grows into more dollars, more freedom, more choice, more actual wealth. The luxury industry's biggest secret isn't that their products aren't worth the price. It's that real luxury isn't something you can buy in a store. Real luxury is freedom, time, peace of mind, the ability to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you. And that's something no logo can give you. So here's my challenge. The next time you're tempted to buy something to impress people, ask yourself, would a billionaire buy this? Not because billionaires are role models, but because they understand the game and they've chosen not to play. If this video changed how you think about luxury, hit that subscribe button. We're exposing more industry secrets every week. And remember, the best investment you can make isn't in a designer bag or a luxury car. It's in yourself, your skills, your knowledge, your future. That's the real luxury. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos about the luxury industry.